We're taking you to York, one of the most historic cities in England. We'll be showing you the great old buildings, some street entertainment, presenting you a summary in this episode of our series of movies that we're creating about York. And this will be a 5-minute package for you that's going to wrap it all up. We visited York as part of our tour of the British Isles that includes many other places we're presenting on our YouTube channel. It's easy to get to York. There's wonderful train service that can bring you up from London in just 2 hours, or in our case, we're arriving from the city of Bath. There's a convenient elevator in the York train station that will get you down to the next platform and up again. It's a grand old station, very historic and yet modern, conveniently located right next to the old town. It was very easy for our small group to walk from the station across the street, then through a gate in the old wall to our hotel, the Grand. I'll be your tour guide and cameraman for the visit to York, so we start out with a brief orientation talk outside the hotel. We're going to cover more of the main highlights of the town. The 3 top sites really are walking on the wall and doing the Castle Museum and the Minster, the great cathedral. You look at any list of things to do in York, and those are the top 3. So that's what we'll do this morning, and we'll stitch it together with a little bit of walking. The wall walk is very easy. You just walk up 1 flight of steps, and then the wall is level, and we'll go on the most scenic part of the wall between after Monk Bar. Nice views of the Minster. Then we come down from the wall, we'll walk a few blocks through the old town to the Castle Museum. It opens at 9:30, so it's good to get there early. And it's a fabulous collection. It has so many artifacts in there. It was collected by a physician, a fellow named Dr. Kirk, who was in practice in between 1890 and 1920. And he was a country doctor here. And often in lieu of fee, he would just collect things from people's houses. And then he also purchased. He was a great collector and donated everything to the city. The Castle Museum is located inside a former women's prison. And it's next to Clifford's Tower, which we can see from the outside is a great monument from the days of William the Conqueror and then medieval times. And then after the Castle Museum, we can walk back up through town to the Minster and go in. These are paid attractions. They're each about £10 to get into each one of them, but certainly well worth it. And that'll take us right through early lunch. Afternoon suggestion will be the National Railway Museum. Of course, it's next to the train station, and it's free. And it has the best collection of trains in the world. That would be something very easy to walk over to. It would take you less than 5 minutes to get to the Railway Museum from here, right next to the train station. And then there's a few other museums this afternoon you might consider, especially the Yorkshire Museum. It's in the museum gardens. They have a fine collection of Roman artifacts and some other stuff from 17th, 18th century, but especially sculpture and tools, artifacts, jewelry from the Roman days. Remember the Romans. Quick recap, they got here about the year 70 and established the town. York became their northern capital. The Roman military encampment is where the Minster is today. Of course, the Romans had built a wall around the city. We saw a little bit of that Roman wall. And then the Romans left and history went on. You heard a lot of it from John yesterday. Now, John did a fabulous job. We did the walking tour with the local guide instead of the bus tour because the bus tour, frankly, not so interesting. And here's what we saw with John. I circled it in black for you. He really focused on the central area of town. We had a great time with him from what we saw. This morning I'll show you a little bit more of that rest of the town, and then you'll have the afternoon. It's so easy. It's only 500 yards from one end of town to the other. Very compact. And we're very well connected here at our Grand Hotel. Easy to come back if you want to freshen up, bounce back out again. A walk at 8 p.m. in the streets is really quite nice. I did it myself from 8 to 8:30 last night, and I was taking pictures, and there was some people out walking around. Restaurants are open, shops are all closed. Nice lighting, very peaceful. It gets busy during the day. This town is very popular, of course. We know that. We saw some of that yesterday. Tomorrow morning we're leaving at 9 a.m. So we'll assemble in the lobby with our bags and we'll have our private shuttle van that will take us across the Yorkshire Dales over to the Lake District for the next phase of our journey. We'll be presenting many more movies about the British Isles in our series on our YouTube channel. Why don't you take a moment to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can be informed about our regular uploads. And take a look at our website for listings of our 1,200 travel movies.